Hey there, Javi here with BorrowLenses.com, and today we're going to talk about the brand new BlackMagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Man, that's a mouthful. After months of waiting, it's finally here. The BlackMagic Pocket 4K was announced back in April, and we've been waiting anxiously ever since. This camera is a very welcome upgrade to the original Pocket camera, which was announced 5 years ago. On paper, this camera is seriously impressive. You can record 4K DCI up to 60p in uncompressed RAW, and it has a micro Four Thirds sensor with dual native ISO and 13 stops of dynamic range. The 5-inch LCD is touchscreen and has professional exposure and monitoring tools, and you can record to either CFast or SD cards, or optionally record externally to USB-C SSDs. There's a lot to be excited about. What makes this even more impressive is the price point. At just under $1,300, this camera comes in at almost $700 cheaper than an A7 III and almost $1,000 cheaper than a GH5S. Or you can rent it at BorrowLenses.com for $107 for a week. But can a camera with those specs at this price point really deliver? Let's take it for a spin and find out. Right off the bat, I noticed it was easy to operate and pull focus off the large 5-inch touchscreen monitor. The menu structure is the same as other BlackMagic cameras, so it was familiar and easy to navigate. I also love how it feels in your hand. It has enough heft to feel solid and reduce camera shake, while still being light enough to handhold for long periods of time. The large number of recording options is a huge plus. You have over 7 format and compression options in 3 different resolutions, from uncompressed DCI 4K RAW to 1080p ProRes proxies. You have tons of flexibility when managing your file size and your media. The larger micro Four Thirds sensor is a great improvement over its Super 16mm predecessor, but some may still pine for the depth of field and light sensitivity of full frame. While you won't be getting that razor-thin depth of field, the sensor in this camera is seriously impressive. You get the same BlackMagic color science you know and love, and amazing low-light performance for a sensor this size. Because of the dual native ISO of 400 and 3200, I found that I got clean footage out of this camera at 3200 ISO, and with a little noise reduction in DaVinci Resolve, acceptably clean footage at 6400. Anything higher than 6400, the image started to break down. Now, are you always going to want to crank up your ISO? No. But knowing you have the option for a shot or two is always a good feeling. Now, some people have been complaining about the battery life in this camera, and I get it. It's not great. That said, it did last me longer than I expected, similar to the original A7S. If you're coming from cinema cameras with broadcast batteries though, I suggest that you get an external battery solution. One thing I wish this camera had more of was high-speed options. While the 4K 60p looks silky smooth, you need to drop down to a windowed HD mode to get up to 120p. In that windowed mode, the camera punches in on your sensor, giving you a 2x crop. On top of that, the footage just didn't look that great, especially at higher ISOs. In a pinch, you can get away with it, but we'd recommend sticking to 60 frames per second on this camera. We did find that we had to carry tons of media to record the nice uncompressed 4K RAW, since a 256GB card only got us around 18 minutes of footage. So I have to admit, when this camera was first announced, I was ready to hate it. I don't like the way it looks, and although BlackMagic's color science has always been great, their lower end cameras have always left something to be desired. After working with this for a week though, I gotta say this camera's pretty awesome, especially for someone looking for a small lightweight package that packs a punch. At this price point, it can't be beat. So there you have it, the BlackMagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. If you want to learn more about this camera or anything else that we carry, check out our blog. And if you want to rent it for yourself, rent it at BorrowLenses.com. Thanks for watching.